Okay, we're back. So what I did was I created another access list that I'm calling R1 only, and it's less permissive than the other access list. And this is going to say, TCP host. So only allow R1 telnet access when, and what's going to happen is I'm going to invoke this when the quiet period is going on. So normally I'm going to say allow anything from the TENS network to apply, but if we perceive an attack on this router, let's go ahead and just lock this down to allowing only router 1 to be able to access via telnet. Normally wouldn't use telnet, but I don't want to set up SSH in this instance. So once we go into login, we want to be able to apply this access list rather than the access list that we have applied to our VTY line currently. Actually, it'll be applied to both our auxiliary and our VTY line. And the way that we do that is we're going to go ahead and hit login, quiet mode, access class, and then we're going to specify. In this case, I think it was R1 only. In the real world, and in this lab, I should be doing the same thing. Cut and paste is your friend. Because if you forget what you typed, if you've forgotten what you've typed, or you mistype it here, you're going to screw something up. If I'd said R1 on, well, then suddenly I'm referencing an access list that doesn't exist, and I'm going to lock out everything. So let's go ahead and do show login and see what's different here. All the same stuff. We got a bunch of hits on here because I've been dinking around. We're in normal mode. What we're looking for is right here. Quiet mode, access list, R1 only is applied. It's not really applied, it's configured. It will be applied when we go from normal mode to quiet mode. So let's do this. Let's clear the log here. And I will jump over to R3. And as you can tell by the ugly ass colors, this is our devil router. This is the bad guy. 2, see if we can ping. So what we're going to do is we're going to, let's just log in first to make sure that, you find that when you set that delay, that it seems like it takes that long for a normal login too. So it seems longer than 5 seconds. But anyways, I did this just to prove that I can log in from our bad boy if we use the correct login. So now let's go ahead and repeat this, and let's create some bogus accounts, or bogus logins rather. So that's the correct login, but with the wrong password. So now we've created 3 bad logins. So let's pop over here, and we can see that we are now in quiet mode. Let's quickly do this. Show login, and we got 61 seconds. So we're in quiet mode. We're going to be there for another 61 seconds. This is a cool part. Restrictive logins filter by applied ACL R1 only. So if we do a show run, section line. Okay, we can see that instead of that default, we're using the R1 only. Let's go over to R1 real quick because I want to show you that you can log in from R1 during the quiet period. Come on, don't make a monkey out of me. And then but from R3, we're still unable to do that. So we're getting blocked on R3. And let's actually generate a couple of these. And we'll log out. This is R1. I'm logging out of R1. So let's go to R2. And let's take a look at some stuff here. So we can see that just in time because quiet mode just turned off. So when quiet mode was applied, we could see that the restricted logins were filtered by that access list that we specified as our quiet mode access class, actually. And so it went ahead and applied this. And if you remember before, and actually how it is right now, up arrow. So during normal operations, we have our access list that we specified that says let anything from the TENS network in. That's why initially we could log in from R3. But then we created 3 bad logins sourced from R3. And one thing to keep in mind, doesn't matter what the source of the logins are. As long as it gets in through your access class. So we could have sourced the bad logins from R1. It wouldn't have mattered, which is actually interesting because you can source 3 bad logins from R1. It will go into quiet mode, but since you're allowing R1 to still enter, it's going to let you're going to be able to get in from R1, even though that's the source of the bad logins. But what happened when we applied this login, if you remember, this is only going to allow logins from R1. So rather than putting that SL underbar def underbar ACL that locks out everything, it's applying the access list that we created. So during the quiet period, we were able to log in from R1. And there's a ton of these. These were the last 3 that we generated, and they all came from R3. I cleared the log, so let's take a look at the log. Alright, so here's our login success from R3, and that was prior to us sending these 3, which were our bad logins. So Chimpy Pants, Cisco Jim with a bad password, and then Booty Head were not allowed. So at that point we entered quiet mode, and then we went ahead and we logged in from R1 with Telnet, and then the quiet mode went off. So you can see that here's the part that I want to emphasize. Quiet mode was on, we were able to log in successfully. Quiet mode went off. So we logged in during the quiet mode because we created an access list that allowed us to have, at least one device that could always access this router regardless if it was in quiet mode or normal mode. Okay, and that's going to wrap up the coverage of the login block functionality. Between the theory video and the lab video, you've gotten more than enough exposure to this feature. Probably the most difficult part of it, if you want to call it difficult, is knowing where, how, and why to apply that that quiet mode access list. And I think that that last exercise that we went through, that is something that you can use in the real world as best practice. Though you may or may not ever use this feature because you're probably going to have, depending on the size of the company and how involved your security features are, you might not use this in real life, but it will pop up on the test, or well, at least it's on the blueprint for the CCNA security. So it's good to know it at this level so that when whatever question they throw at you on that test, you'll be more than prepared for whatever question they manage to throw at you. Okay, that said, I'm going to end this marathon session and hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.